Shmois, Pasha Shmois. It says that the Jewish people came to Egypt. Yosef, all his generation, died. And then it says, and the Jewish people multiplied. And they use a language like this. Uvnei Yisrael paru. The Jewish people became fruitful. Vayishretzu. That the language Vayishretzu means they like laying eggs. Creatures on the floor that crawl on the floor, they lay eggs, they call them shratzim. Vayishretzu. The Jewish people in Egypt, they were fruitful. Vayishretzu. They had babies like bugs. Vayirbu. They multiplied. Vayatzmu, they became strong, very much. The land was filled with them. So Rashi says, the Medrash, they gave birth 6 children in one birth, one stomach. Not twins, not triplets. 6 in one shot.
6 I think that is a Guinness record. It's 6 or 8. No,
7, they say.
8 is a record.
So they had many of them. One time, the chief rabbi of Israel, Rabbi Lau, went to visit Fidel Castro in Cuba. And Fidel Castro asked the chief rabbi of Israel, how is it possible that the Jewish people went to Egypt with 70 people and they left 200 years later with 600,000 men? How's it possible? 2 million people.
They don't have television.
So he had, Fidel Castro in those days had a pencil in his ears. He took a pencil and he started calculating with the rabbi, how's it possible that it will have from 70, 600,000 men? And the rabbi told him this pasuk. Paru, vayishretzu, vayirbu, vayatzumu, no, they had 6 children, one shot. Then he understood, how's it possible? Chazal learned that since it says 6 words, this is das zekeni bala toisves, because it has 6 words of fruitfuls. Midechsiv shisho lishnei priya verivya. There are 6 words of fruitful. It says paru, vayishretzu, vayarbu, vayatzmu b'meod meod. There's 6 words. So from there we learn, from there Chazal learned, in Bereshis Rabbah, in Shmois Rabbah, Aleph Chet, that they had 6 children in one shot in the stomach. And what happened? Vayirbu, after they had 6 children, gave birth, laid eggs like creatures. Vayirbu, they were multiplied. Vayatzu, which is they didn't die. A lot of times when you have a lot of kids in one birth, some of the kids die. Here, no. Vayishretzu, they had a birth of 6 children at a time, 6 babies at a time, and vayirbu, they became multiplied, they became more. Vayatzmu, which means they didn't die, they stayed alive. The biggest shaila which we had here, my Rabbi asked his question, Rabbi Shanan Zechrono Livracha. He asked a very simple question. Why HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he wanted to show the blessings of the Jewish people, why he used the language of shratzim? Shratzim is creatures, non-kosher creatures, not like fish. Like Yosef, Yaakov blessed the children of Yosef, they will be like fish, right? Here the Torah used creatures, shratzim. So that's how he calls the Jewish mothers shratzim. The Torah talks about the Jewish mothers, they gave birth like They're giving babies. They're laying babies like creatures, lay eggs all over. That's a proper similarity. That's a proper proverb to give about the Jewish women. It's very hard. It needs an explanation. How come HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the Holy Torah calls our holy mothers a language of sheretz, which seems to be impure creature and dirty sect of creatures? We know the Torah prohibits us to eat shratzim. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, wow, look how much Hashem wants to give us sachar, reward. Even though shratzim are disgusting and ma'us, and Hashem tells us that don't eat creatures, in order to give us a reward. Kal v'chomer things which we have desire, and we don't do, or more so, that Hashem will give us a reward. So what do we see? Creatures, shratzim is something which is ma'us, disgusting. If you go to Thailand, you go to China, you eat all those creatures, you get very disgusted. Very dirty creatures. They have a lot of parts, very small, they crawl on the ground, it's very hard to clean them. They're very dirty. Where they grow in the garbage. Who knows where? They grow in swamps, dirty swamps. That's where they grow.
Well, they grow spontaneously, yeah.
Spontaneously, the strongest creature in the world, cannot destroy it. So, why the Torah Akdosha, the Holy Torah, described our holy mothers to Paru v'yishretzu? They laid eggs like those creatures. It's a very strong question. Needs an explanation.
I think the Rashbam has a nice answer.
Rashbam, I didn't see.
שאלה אותו דבר כמו דן?
מה?
אותו דבר כמו ברכה של דן שנתן משה רבנו על הדן, שהוא נחש?
לא, אבל שם הוא דיבר על המידות שלהם. פה אתה מדבר על הלידה. If you talk about a person is like a lion, is like a snake, see, it's one thing. But you say to a woman, she gives birth like a creature, it's the biggest shame.
They are not sure anything yet.
So we are creatures? We shkatzim and nemasim? Come on. Oh.
יש מדרש שההבדל בין דבש ובין חלב, שאולי כמו משה, שהנחש יכול לבד.
זה נכון, אבל כשאומרים שהנשים היהודיות ילדו כמו שרצים זה טמא, וזה ביזיון ומאוס. חייב להיות, must be, that there is a big shvach. There's a big praise here, where the Holy Torah praises the Jewish women. So with the help of Hashem, we're going to bring a medrash. The medrash says that there's a pasuk in Shir HaShirim that says, Tachat atapuach, under the apple tree, Tachat atapuach, shama chibla imecha. Under the apple tree, our mothers gave birth to our children. Chazal say that the women used to come with mirrors to the husbands working as a slaves, and they used to show the husbands that they're more beautiful than the husbands. That's why Hashem made women more white, more soft, to be more beautiful to the men. They don't have a beard. In order that the man will covet the woman, will have children. So they showed the husband they're more beautiful than them. And what happened? And they had children. The problem was the Egyptians waited for the Jewish women to have children, and they wanted to kill those children. So what those women did, those women went to the field, and they laid and they gave birth to the children in the field, and the children grew alone with not mothers, no fathers, alone in the fields. And it says that the stones that were there in the fields turned to milk and honey. And when the Egyptians came, there was a big miracle. They were swallowed under the ground. So let's think a little bit about this midrash. If you're a Jewish mother, do you want to give birth to a child and the child is going to grow free, no mother, no father? Father's in the field working slave. And the mothers have to lay the egg, have to give birth to those kids in the field and they grow alone. No parents. Fear they're going to be killed. Yes. This was the biggest praise of our mothers. Our mothers acted like shratzim, like those creatures. They just laid their eggs, they spritz them 6 at a time, and let them run. They call them, say in English, run loose. Just let them run on their own. Our Jewish mothers had faith that they have to build a Jewish nation, because although we have slavery, but it's a momentarily reality. We have to build a nation, a Jewish nation. In this nation, Pakod Yifkod Elokim Etchem, as Yosef told them, and you're going to leave Egypt. And Hashem going to redeem you, going to serve Hashem, and Ahad Choyim, accept the Torah, come to Yisrael. So our Jewish mothers, it's a praise. They acted like impure insects. Little creatures that just lay eggs and let them run loose. It's a big shvach. That they acted, although it's against the nature of a woman. She has children, she wants to take care of them, she wants to be a mother. That's the nature of a woman. And they acted, no, against the nature. Because all for the sake of building a Jewish nation. Tachat atapuach yaldadcha imecha sham chibaltecha imecha. Under the apple tree, she conceived and she gave birth to the children of Klal Yisrael like shratzim, like those creatures. So although Hashem uses lichoiro, a language of impure insect, a disgusting creature, yes, they acted like this disgusting creature. That was the praise of our Jewish mothers. And Hashem is giving praise to our mothers. We have to learn from this. We have to learn from this. That it says, En ben David ba. Mashiach will not come. The Gemara in Pesachim says, Dafnu. En ben David ba ad she'ichle neshomes min aguf. There is a goof, like a body, a spiritual body, of Adam Arishon. When Adam Arishon, he did a sin, it says in the Medrash, Eivorim ayu noiflim. His limbs started to fall. His limbs started to fall off, break off of him. And we now, in the 600 years, all the neshamas that come to the world, they come from parts of the limbs of Adam Arishon that they have to fix. And Ben David is going to come to the world until the whole goof, the neshama of the whole goof. Let's say I come from the second finger, the finger of the left hand. Let's say I come from the nail. So I come to the world and I fix that now little part where I come from becomes flesh. It becomes a nail. Before it was like burnt. Because he did a sin, he burnt it. But I come once to the world, I don't fix, I have to come again. Hashem gives me chances, 4 times, whatever chances he gives for certain parts. And sometimes I fix 60% of the part. I come again, I have another 40%, that 40, whatever it is. That's why, according to Kabbalah, a person can never destroy, only benefit. Because if that person sins all his life, so it's like before, where he comes from was burnt, was black. He came, if all his life was black, so it stays black. Black on black. But if he did 10% of mitzvahs, so 10% new came in alive. So a person can never destroy, only metakin, not mekalkin. But however, we want to come to the world metakin fully. And you have the ability to grow in your tikkunim, but you cannot really go to another part where you don't come from. As I said, who explains. What? Adam Arisha was a complete neshama. Yes, what do you want to say?
No, Sforno gives a completely opposite
Yes.
direction of the whole.
Yes.
He says it's to say negatively about.
Yes, there's Sforno, yes. But it's hard. The Sforno is hard. There's a Sforno here, he learns that it was a disgrace of the Jewish people.
Yeah.
Sforno says that after all the 70 souls died, which means the first generation, the Jewish people starts going in the ways of shrotzim and pull himself to Ber Shachas.
Yeah, any comment?
So he learns shrotzim as a disgrace to the Jewish people. We say no. Shrotzim, because I tell you how many of them. So we said how many of them, 600. So why the Torah use according to this page, Loshon shrotzim? Not to tell you that they were anointed derech shrotzim. Adarabeh. Our mothers were like those. They gave the moiser nefesh to be like shrotzim and not to be mothers that take care of the kids just for the sake of building the Jewish nation, as it says in Chazal, tachat hatapuach, as I mentioned. Anyhow, what I wanted to say is that we have to learn that when we come to the world, we have to bring children. Because Ben David cannot come, Mashiach cannot come, until all the neshamas come and fix the mekoir of the complete neshama of Adam Kadmon. So we have to bring as many children we can bring. We should bring and raise them in the ways of Hashem.
How much time is cost?
Time? What do you mean how much time it costs?
No, how much time it takes to bring all the neshamis?
I don't know. Already 5,785 years passed. So we're waiting. We're waiting to do it quicker than 6,000 years. Then when it comes, Mashiach will come, we're able to do the tikkun.
It's already been too long.
They're very too long. We want to do it as quick as possible. So people have to get married quickly, find wives and have children, and raise them in the ways of Hashem. But in order to find a proper wife, in order to raise your children in the ways of Hashem, you have to build a foundation. Be in yeshiva, learn well, have ingrained into yourself the Torah, the mitzvahs, the ideas of Torah and Yerushalayim, and pray that when you get married and you raise your children, you have proper children. There is a survey that say every child that's been born to his parents above 35 years old is a genius. Because the parents are more complete. The Ralbag says, and I explained many times, also Avram ben Arambam says, that why our forefathers got married older, because the more the person is old and he's fixed with his midos, so then his children they're much more fixed and able to become better. But that's if you fix. In a non-religious world or not Torah world, the older you get, you become more stubborn, and it's impossible to get married to you. Also women, those older women, you have to run away from them. They're very hard, impossible to be with them. They become stiff necks. But if you're ben Torah, the older you get, you become more softer. Women which have been Torah, they come from a Torah house, become better and better. And anyhow, we should try to get married and bring children as quick as possible to rebuild the Jewish nation and to bring the full neshama shebaguf, and we'll see speedily the Mashiach Tzidkeinu coming. Amen.